Good afternoon, everyone. As you know that we in the last class of mine we were stuck between I wasn't able to complete the whole question paper pattern, and here today I will be continuing the whole question paper of 100 marks. In the last class, let me just very quickly recapitulate what all the things that we discussed in the last class. It was something about where I just gave you an introduction about English in India is always studied as a ESL. Hope you know what is ESL, nothing but English as a second language. So I had given you a couple of examples and introduction regarding why English is studied as a second language in India. At the same time, English can also be studied as EFL, nothing but English as a first language. So when you say first language, it is something about the native speakers, those who speak English by birth, all the English speaking countries. English as a foreign language, when you say the same acronym EFL, that is English as a foreign language, here you are actually studying English as a second language only. Okay. Now, after giving you that introduction, I told you about the two books that are prescribed by the PU board. Okay. In the last class, I think I had forgotten to mention the names or the titles of those books. The two books that we are going to study are Springs and then we have Streams. I had very clearly told you about the division of the syllabus, how exactly what each book contains. So when we talk here about English as a literature, that is English studying under literature, that is nothing but Springs. This is the prescribed textbook that we have, which deals with all the literary writings of English literature. What are the things that includes in a literature? Obviously, we had discussed in the last class, nothing but the literary part or the literature writings include all the poems, the short stories, one-act plays, essays, prose, all these things comes under Springs. And similar to that, you also have another book that is nothing but English as a language. So here you are going to, under this book, you are going to study English as a language, which means that this Streams is also called as your workbook. Okay, so these are the two things that I did not tell you in the last class. So be specific about the titles of these two books. One is Springs, the other one is on Streams. So after giving you an introduction on all these aspects, now I told you that the subject code of English is 02, right? So subject code of your language of your English is 02, and under that you will be studying these two books where the question paper is set on these two books for 100 marks. So what is the weightage? The weightage is equal. So you have 50 on this book and 50 on this book, isn't it? So when you are planning your studies, plan it in such a way that you give equal importance to both the texts. Okay, you cannot ignore the one to other or the vice versa, but simultaneously when you study literature, you also going to study the language part of it. So both language, literature, both are necessary. Okay, so after telling you about the subject code, I also told you about a magic number. What is that magic number? Remember, so it was 35. Why I told you 35 was? Because your question paper is exactly asked for number of question papers, number of the questions in your question paper is 35. So this acts as a magic number where you will have to know the importance of the different types of the questions that are going to be asked. I hope I am clear. So these are the two texts. So for the next class of mine, you need to have Springs with you. I will straight away start with the first unit of what Springs contain. Okay, now if you are not aware, it is something on one of the greatest tragedies ever written by Shakespeare. It is Romeo and Juliet. The very first poem for your prescribed studies under Streams text is Romeo and Juliet. That I would start probably in the next class. So when I have a kind of an interaction with you, non-interaction, where I will be just speaking, the only thing is that if you are able to find out the text maybe from your seniors or maybe from your other contacts, your relatives or whatsoever, please get the text and you can start watching the video once I upload the class after discussing on Romeo and Juliet. So your next class will be uploaded on Romeo and Juliet. I will have a kind of a discussion there, and you can have a text ready with you before watching that video. That will be your third English class. As of now, I will continue with my question paper pattern. So let me very quickly recapitulate the number of the questions or the question paper pattern. As you know that all the question papers will have equal instructions, and paper is for your 100 marks, and the time allowed is 3 hours and 15 minutes. So the very first question is on one word. So one word, answer the following question in one word, phrase or in a sentence. As I said, first main question numbers 1 to 12 will run. Each carries 1 mark, so that takes you to 12 marks. Then you come to the second main. Second main is short answer questions, nothing but you have 10 questions asked, out of which you are going to answer 8, right? So here it will start from question number 23 and it will go up to question number, sorry, not 23, it will start from 13 and it will end to 22. So here you have a choice. 10 questions are asked, you got to select any 8 and you will have to answer. So each question carries 4 marks, right? So that is 8 into 4, 32. Right. Then you come to the third main, and third main is long answer question. Once again, under question number 23, you will have 3 questions where you can opt either A or B or C and answer accordingly, right? So that is the first part, and this is the summary of the springs that you study. Okay, so you will have a first main, one word answers, one word or a sentence or just a phrase. So you will have to answer 12 questions, which is equal, carries for 1 mark each, and 12 questions, 12 marks, and then you come to the second main, short answer. So why am I stressing more on this is that most of your marks may be deducted in these second and third main. We are of that particular opinion that we cannot score out of 8 marks here. If your concepts are very clear, if you are answering to the question, you can easily score all these 12 marks. And here, while choosing the questions, if you are following correct language without any grammatical errors and answer to the point, you can again get the answers. And at the same time, when you are answering a long answer also, you will have to write according to the point, to the question that is being asked. Now, what are the main things where your marks will be deducted? The first thing that comes to the mind is that your spellings. When you write the spellings of specific words in your answer, it should be precise. At the same time, the language that you follow, that is your grammar, your sentence structure should be formal. At the same time, you will have to write it in a clear-cut way, and answering to the point will lead you to this particular question, answering from 13 to 22, where 8 are chosen. Only 8 questions are chosen, isn't it? Now, after that, you will come to the third question. And one more thing here, mainly the word limit given to you in the question paper is 80 to 100 words. So keep that thing in your mind. While answering these questions on second main, you see to it that you either write it in 1 paragraph or maybe 2 paragraphs. That's more than enough. But see to it that you do not cross the word limit. Okay. So when you are answering here, see to it that you are answering to the point and you are somewhere in the prescribed limit. Okay, and that's how you will be scoring, or that's how you will be writing your answers on these forms. And when you come to the long answer, only one question is supposed to be answered, rest two will act as choice. So under question number 23 in third main, long answer, word limit 200 words. So 200 words is your word limit, and you have a choice between choosing A, B or C, and then you answer the question. So that's all about your literature, that is Springs. After answering these questions, then very next question on your question paper is comprehension. So when I say comprehension, comprehension will straight away come into your workbook. Okay, so here you are going to comprehend a passage and then you are going to answer the questions, right? So when you are doing that, that will be your question number 24. Okay, so fourth main, question number 24, a passage is given. You have to read the passage first, comprehend it according to the questions that are followed. So you will have to answer the questions with mainly of WH words, where the questions are asked. It all depends on how you comprehend. So you're going to answer this passage for 10 marks, and then you have question number 25, and question number 25 is a short poem. You will be given a line or a stanza from a poem, from a selected poem, where you will have to just read around 6 to 8 lines or whatsoever, and then you will have to answer. So that is comprehension will come to you for comprehension. It is 10 plus 3 marks. I had discussed it in the last class as well. So one long passage for 10 marks and one short poem for comprehension carrying 3 marks. Okay, so after that, when you are talking about a question that has to be talked to you about certain things that are related from your workbook. So from here, all your comprehension, all your knowledge, whatever you have studied, whatever you have prepared for your examination will be under language, English as a language. So there are different ways in which we will be dealing with the workbook in the class once we start off with. But right now, I am just going to give you a skeletal part of how would be the questions, or what could be the questions expected under this textbook, that is Streams. So first one from Streams is comprehension, and after that you have something that is called as complete the following by using the blanks, that is the right form of the verbs. So question number 26, right form of the verb given in the bracket. Right form of the verb given in the bracket, where a passage again is given from the texts that you have read. It could be from any lesson, it could be from any short story, or it could be from any of the one act plays or whatsoever that you have in the literature. So a small paragraph is given where you will have to answer that particular question for 3 marks. So you have 3 verbs, identify, look into the tense of the sentence, and then answer accordingly, which will be given to you for 3 marks. So these are the things that I had completed in the last class. Just I have recapitulated once again so as to have a clear-cut idea on the question paper, and today I hopefully I'll complete the rest of the other marks that are related especially to the language part. Okay. Now when we talk about something on question number 27 is nothing but report the following. Conversation. So when you are talking about report the following, it nothing but direct and indirect speech. So again, a conversation between 2 characters, or maybe from a passage, or maybe from a short story is given, where you will have to answer this question with the conversation that has been given in the text where you will have to make it into indirect form of the following. So, this will carry 5 marks. Okay. So, after this question, when you are talking about question number 27, I think this is the place where I stopped my last class. So, question number 27 is report the following, and then after that you come to something that is called as question number 28, which is nothing but completion of the dialogue. Completion of the dialogue, once again it is very easy. Why? Because you are given the hints in the question itself. What is that you are going to fill? It all depends on how you read the question. So, question number 28, complete the following dialogue. Completion of the dialogue. So, here you were asked once again to fill some 4 lines. 4 lines you have to fill from your own after reading the question that is given, and total marks allotted for this question is 4 marks. So, that is about your completion of a dialogue. So, here you are going to attempt this question with the given hints in the question paper, and then do it according to what the situation or what the concept is given in the question paper. Then we all have studied something about verbs, phrasal verbs. There are so many types of the verbs. They are also called as the linkers here. Now, when you are attempting on question number 29, you will be asked to write the appropriate expression questions. Okay, appropriate expressions that are given in the passage or in a short paragraph. You are given a paragraph with certain blanks in it, and at the end of the question there are choices, there are options that are given where you will have to choose the right option and fill in the expression with the appropriate expression. So, this question is again asked for 2 marks. So, you will have 2 marks here for this expression, choosing the appropriate expression and then answering the question accordingly. Then after you do that particular thing, you will come to something that is called as question number 30. What is question number 30? Question number 30 is asked on choosing the right linking words, which are called as linkers. Okay. So, when you do this question, it is almost similar to the same thing, but here you will have the expressions that are given again in terms of the brackets where options are given. So, this option question is again given to you for 4 marks. So, write 4 appropriate linkers given in the passage and complete that and write it according to what you think is correct. When you are approaching or when you are attempting these 2 questions, you may have or you may feel that this option is correct, that option is correct, or you may think or you may have your own way of judgment, but at the same time see to it that you never deviate from the prescribed text. Why am I telling you is that again the questions on these paragraphs are taken from the literature book. That is, it is taken from the Springs only. It can be a paragraph from any of the lesson or any passage or maybe any prose or maybe from any of play or 1-act plays or something where you will have to understand and then you come. Then you come to question number 30. You come to question number 31 here. So, when you are coming to question number 31, this is a choice. The question here is a choice where you will have to make Question number 31 is something on note making skills. Similar questions you have done in your first PU classes as well, right? So when you are doing this question, a passage or a text is given, like it could be a descriptive one or it could be something on statistical value. So when you are attempting this question, you have to read a passage or a paragraph that is given in the question first, and then the question follows in the form of blanks. So either it can be a flow chart, linkers. Okay, so flow chart, after reading the text or after reading the question carefully, you will have to make the notes in the form of blanks given in the question paper. Okay, so each blank carries half a mark. So you will have to fill 8 and that will take you to 4 marks of total. So that is about question number 31. And I am sorry, on question number 31 there is no choice. Okay, so this is a compulsory attempted question where you will have no choice here. Okay, so that's about question number 31 on note making skills. So I am sure you might have done it in the earlier class of yours, how to make the notes. In the similar way you have to attempt this answer here. Then we come to question number 32, and 32 is nothing but letter writing. 5 marks are allotted here. Okay, 5 marks are allotted in this question. And what kind of letters do you expect in a second PU examination? It's obviously official letters. Okay, so mainly they call it as job application letter. Okay, what type of letters, everything that we will be doing once we take up the workbook, but right now for your set of mind or for your framework of the question paper, I am just putting here as a letter writing. And as I said, letter writing is something on the formal or so to say official letter writing. Mostly it is job application letter only. Okay, so the allotted marks for this question is 5 marks. Okay, so after attempting the question number 32, your question number 33 is a question on choice. Okay, so here you will have to choose any one question. There are 2 questions given here where you will have to write, like for example, biodata, change it into a introductory speech, introducing the guest. Introducing the guest. In the question, you actually have a biodata of a person. Okay, there is a biodata of a person where you will be given certain, about birth, achievements, what he done, what he has done, what he has, achievements, what exactly is he, a specific person in the society. So that thing is given in the form of a small biodata where you will have to change all that information into introducing the guest to the audience, or to the one of the occasions maybe the school has planned or the college has planned, where you will have to introduce the guest to the audience. Okay, so that is something that is called as changing a biodata information into a small speech in the form of introducing the guest to the gathering. Or you will be given a pie chart, or you will be given a bar graph, or you will be given a flow chart. The question will be either in these forms where you will actually have to write a report. That is nothing but report writing. So whatever the written data is given in the form of a flow chart, or maybe a pie chart, or maybe a linker or a flow chart, you will have to change the whole data into the form of writing something that is called as report writing. So don't worry about how to do that. We will do it in the class once we start off with that. And once again, here you will be allocated with 5 marks to this particular question. Okay, so I'm running to 33, question number 33. So how many are left? There are 2 more questions are left. Why? Because total number of questions are 35. Okay, question number 34. What do you have in a question number 34 is nothing but a paragraph is given with the words underlined. A paragraph is given to you. You read it, you comprehend it, you will come to know, like, what is the narration in the paragraph or what is the narration in the passage that is given. Out of which there are certain words that are underlined. It could be they, we, them, their. So all these words are connected, or in the narration it is related to someone else. It could be on speaker, it could be on a person who is talking in the passage, it could be on the protagonist, whomsoever. You will have to identify that. So the question on that particular form is nothing but question number 34. In this question number 34, you will be asked to write, like, whom do the underlined words refer to. So what you will be asked here is once again a small paragraph or about 4 to 5 lines where certain words are underlined, and you got to tell whom do they refer to. It could be in the form of narration, it could be in the form of a way where you will have to answer the questions. So mainly 4 words are given, underlined, 4 underlined words, and you will have to answer it for 4 marks. Okay, so whom do the underlined words refer to? Whom do they refer to? So that will be a question, and read it clearly, slowly, try to understand what is the narration and try to understand whom is the reference made. So when I talk to you about whom the reference is made, we normally talk about the words like they, them, their, whom, we, you, I. These are the words, right? Narrations. They are all called as the narrative words. So in that way, you will be given a question, identify those 4 words and tell it in the passage whom they belong to or whom they refer to. So that will take you to 4 marks of the question. And now let me come on to the 35 magic number and the last question. So in the last question, you will have only one question here, and it is only for 1 mark, nothing but jumbled segment. Okay, so maximum 8 words are jumbled in a sentence or in a question, and you will have to identify according to the jumbled segment that is given there and answer the question. So there is a sentence where it is jumbled with the slashes in between. Hope you have done that in your earlier class too. And when you talk here about this jumbled segment here, you are given a set or a word or a phrase jumbled. Okay, jumbled, not in a proper order, it is mixed, and you will have to read that properly and with the subject verb agreement, with the correct grammatical structure and with the proper meaning. You have to make it into a sentence. So jumbled sentence segment into a meaningful sentence, and that will be asked for your 1 mark. Okay. I hope with these kinds of the explanation, whatever we had from my past, this is my second class where you are watching me, and I hope that I have given you a exact framework or a blueprint of how the question paper would be and what are the questions that are expected. So being a student preparing for the boards, it is your prime importance that you should know the proper question paper pattern of the board, and once you know this pattern, you can start, or you can plan your studies accordingly so that you can prepare. So I'll come back to you for the next class. and please see to it that you will have a copy of Springs textbook with you. If it is available in the stores, well and good. If it is not available, probably you can borrow it from your seniors or maybe any of your friends who have already passed their 12th class or something. And if you have the textbook ready with you, then probably I will start introducing the Romeo and Juliet in the next class. Thank you.